Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we have the Breitling Top Time B01 Ford Mustang. When this watch originally launched, it came with an ETA base movement using a modular chronograph, but this one is powered by Breitling's own in-house B01. And while I've reviewed the previous version of the watch, it didn't have the manufacturer movement, and it didn't have this spectacular Breitling Ocean Classic mesh bracelet. So now that all is changed, let's talk about what you're getting. In steel, the watch recalls the 1960s Top Time. It's a evocative period watch, and it suits because the Ford Mustang was released famously as a 1964 and a half model at the World's Fair. So we have the Top Time design, the Ford Mustang theme, and they are very much concurrent pieces of world history and cultural history. It's 41 millimeters in diameter, it's 13.7 millimeters thick, it's 51 millimeters lug to lug, and it has a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now the bracelet is quite comfortable, but you can see there is a little bit of stiffness. So you've got that virtual case size. It's almost as though the lugs were actually longer, but that's as tight a curve as this will accommodate. And even once you take out links in the bracelet, you're still going to have that stiffness there. So keep in mind, although this is rated as a 41, it should be considered more like a 43 in terms of how it wears. It's got broad lugs and it has a bracelet that is not perfectly flexible. That said, it does fit nicely on my wrist, and I could actually see this working even on a wrist of 15 centimeters circumference. Although my wrist is not large, I do have some clearance on both sides. And because it's relatively slim with a very sloped case flank and a plexi-like domed, double-curved, boxed and cambered sapphire, this will actually fit underneath the dress cuff. Taking a look now at the bracelet. The way these are made, this company called Stieb that I believe is based out of Germany, and it makes these mesh-style bracelets. And it starts as a big carpet or a big sheet of mesh, and then it's cut to the size and the shape required by the manufacturer, and it's polished and deburred along the sides. So this is really like a piece of fabric. It doesn't have the typical link-by-link articulation that you expect on a conventional bracelet. In some ways, it feels almost like a metal strap. Now, you can see there are several removable links, even though it's unconventional. It basically does work like a conventional sizable bracelet with a pin sleeve system to retain these links. And if you look very carefully, you can see that this one on the end is irregularly sized. So if you find yourself in between sizes, you've got that size and a half link right there. Breitling clasps have been getting better by leaps and bounds. They no longer feel cheap or default, and you can see it's nicely branded, physically attractive, it feels substantial. It's not too thick, and it features a twin trigger release so it can't pop open inadvertently. Now you can see this watch does feature some original shipping materials like stickers and wraps, so the original owner of this really didn't enjoy it, but you will benefit from his folly. You'll get a watch that is as clean and straight as they come, short of a dealer's case. The lugs are sharp, angular, a distinctive and important part of the Top Time historical design. We have pump-style pushers. We have a crown, which is a push-down, though the watch is 100 meters water-resistant, and you can swim with it. We'll do a quick loom shot here, and you can see it has no shortage. There is no date here, so the dial is balanced. This is the no-date version of the B01. You can see it's got a tone-on-tone black with green design. The green lacquer is glossy, brilliant, and beautiful. And when I mentioned that this double-cambered, boxed sapphire looks like a plexi, that is exactly what they're trying to achieve right here. You can see a combination of polish and satin. You can see that the lugs aren't quite as dramatically stepped out as they would be on, say, a Longa, but they are quite distinct from the case band. It's not a Portugueser in any regard. Taking a look at the lugs, you can see they actually ride up the edge of the bezel a little bit so that the lugs can be full without adding to the thickness of the watch. And then the bezel has two facets, vertical and then sloped. Rolling around against the dial, there's the Ford Mustang. Depending on year and era and model, the Mustang could be galloping in either direction. I've seen both on actual Mustang cars. We have units per hour outboard, so we're not pigeonholed into kilometers per hour. After all, this is an American pony car. And The idea is that you use the chronograph with this scale to gauge the speed of something like a Mustang over a race course, and they do race in IMSA, so that is a legitimate proposition. If you start the chrono when the car starts the course, and then you stop it when the car completes the course, you can see 250 was the speed of the car. So that's how that works. Now it is a column wheel vertical clutch chronograph, so notice how there's no jump, stagger, or secondary motion or play in the chronograph seconds hand. That's the result of a vertical clutch. There is no gearing to mesh, and gears don't mesh perfectly, but a vertical clutch does with no play, so it'll always start without jump or stagger. And if you wish, you can leave it running, because another feature of the vertical clutch is that there's no additional wear and tear if you just want to leave your chrono running to have seconds at center. Taking a look at the case back now, you can actually see that column wheel. And I have to say the B01 caliber is one of the most satisfying column wheel actions I've ever experienced at any price. It feels and sounds crisp. It's a real advantage and selling point for this watch. You can see that the watch does feature stop seconds or hacking, so you can set it to a reference time. And then the movement is automatic winding with a 70-hour power reserve, a 4 Hertz beat rate, 40 pivot joules, column wheel vertical clutch, 5-position adjusted, and a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. You can see Breitling uses KIF shock protection, which is sort of the more boutique and upscale alternative to Inca block. It's a contrarian's choice, not necessarily a better functional choice, they're just different. And then you see the use of Edicron for the primary timing and beat error correction with a Breitling eccentric screw up at the top, the micrometric adjuster for really small incremental corrections. And again, it's a 4 Hertz beat rate. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.